here working for the Predicted Ocean Laboratory for the Ocean Decade, which was launched at the 1st of June of this year. So we are the early birds for this endeavor. Thank you, Madame Tatiana. Thank you, Professor Corinne. Thank you, Madame Castelo Branco and Madame Macaulay.
So I will talk with you today a very few words, telling you my story and giving you some highlights of success, of some motivational insights, because I understand that your main goal with the projects and the study that you are doing is to have your project concluded and to be successful, right? So, first of all, I would like to thank the committee for the invitation that I accepted with gratitude, and thank you all of you students that are here today, and congratulate you as well for your projects and your continuous improvement of work in progress, practices, and personal efficiency as a state of mind. So as I said, today we are going to talk about success because it's your, I believe it's your main goal with your projects. So talking about success, there is a lot of philosophers and a lot of thinkers that had defined what is success is. For me, I believe that success is to achieve whatever you desire and whatever goal you had implemented in your path or in your projects. So talking about a little bit about, so I am Nadia Castelo Branco. I am a Cape Verdean entrepreneur, if I can say. And I had, from my very early stage of life, a desire and a very, I was very interested in the opportunities and what the sea and the ocean was giving me in return. So whatever I am near to the sea or the beach, I felt very peaceful, I felt very, very grateful, and I always had in my mind that one day I would work related to the sea. From the very early age. Then when I was 18 years old, I went to Portugal to do my law degree at Coimbra University, one of the ancient universities in Europe, but it was a city that was not surrounded by sea. So it was a countryside city, and I lived there 6 years, and I was studying, very focused, but I was feeling that something was always missing. So, and in my course, when I was going through the degree, I noticed as well that in my university there was no any course related to the ocean or the sea. I had international law that was talking about public sea regulations, the private as well regulation, but was in general, was nothing specific. So then I went to Genova in Italy, where I started my maritime specialization, and it was a very nice experience because there I was in a city where the whole sea economy industry was very real and very present. So I finished that part of my education and always seeking to accomplish my goal. So then I understood back then, so I'm talking more than 20 years ago, I understood that I had to define and I had to put in words and in written whatever I wanted to reach, my goals that I wanted to reach. I understood that it was a desire, but it was not well structured in my mind to achieve it. So I have been doing a long process of self-recognition and learning some other non-technical things that complement what I wanted to reach. Afterwards, just to be very fast, not to be long, I had an experience in the Middle East. I worked there for years, but wasn't on the field that I was aiming to do. But still, I understood that life is a process, and several different experiences that you have, all of them contribute to your aim goal. What I want to tell you is sometimes, or very often, we must think out of the box, and we must understand that being open and to especially shift your paradigms or try to change your beliefs in the way that they can contribute to your achievements. I did this experience. I was working in a huge multinational company with general trade. I had this experience in Kuwait for 4 years. Afterwards, I came back to Italy and I went to work in Naples, south of Italy. Again, not especially in the maritime field as I was aiming, but again, this experience gave me a lot of skills and competences to help me be what I am today. After my experience in Italy, I got married, I got kids, and Cape Verde sounded like a good opportunity to raise my kids and be with my family. So I came back to Cape Verde in 2011, and I was in that phase, you know, when you are looking for a job or you are looking for a self business or a business that you can develop. And I opened a company and I was selling fish. So I opened a fish shop in Braia that was a kind of new business in my city, and I can tell you that it was quite successful experience and business. So in that period, I understood as well the main elements to be successful in the business. I was learning as well, but I understood that in the fish sector in Cape Verde, there is not a lot of opportunities. So I started this company. It was a very small company. Then slowly the company evolved to a bigger project that it became a restaurant in my city. So this restaurant still exists. We are related to still the fish sector, but mainly in the restaurant business. Years later, one day I was invited to be the director of human resource of Saving Village. And finally, I was seeing my dream coming true. A lot of years later, because I focused my idea, my desire in what I was, what was my purpose and what really makes me happy doing. So now I am the HR manager for a shipping company here in Cape Verde, Saving Village. We manage more than 250 people, and it's a very, very challenging work because, as you know, whatever we do involves people, relationships, and management of some conflicts. So my daily work is to help other people perform better and to give more results to the company or to their projects. So very, in few words, let's say, this is my story. Now, just to say a little more words about some elements that we all need to consider to be successful. So, as we know, and as a lot of people say, life is short. And what we mean with life is short, that we don't have all the time that we want to learn everything that we want. So, in this case, we need somehow improve our learning process in order to focus on really what matters to achieve our goals. So, as well you can ask, okay, success, the difference between success and being successful. It's a bit, there is a difference because you can have success and not being successful. So we can imagine in some, just to give an example, we have an artist, for example, a singer that has success because everybody's talking about her. She's coming out all of the news and doing performance around the world. But she's not successful because she still not has her desires fulfilled, and she feels that personally she's not enough for what she's getting. So she's a kind of internal conflict of enjoying and enjoying all the success that she or he has. So very quickly, few elements to be successful. So first, we have to start with a high self-esteem. So let me be a better person for me, and I will be a better person for you. And if you can see as well, just to give you another example, when you go in a flight and you have a kid, if there is any problem, the waiter tells you, first you put the mask and then you put the child mask. Why? Because first let me be protected, or let me be high-esteemed, let me accomplish, and then I can be a better person for you as well. So everything starts inside us, and then we put it or we transmit it to others. The second element is communication skills. So in a day like today, if we prepare something or we have something to show to the world, communications is a key element. So we should try, we should learn to communicate better, to put our ideas in a clear way that everybody, the whole audience can understand, to have the better results that we want. The third element is our capacity or ability to establish goals. And these goals must be smart in order to accomplish them. So this goal has to have a date. I cannot say, one day I would like to implement my project. One day there is, in the calendar, you don't have one day. Calendar, you have day 1 to 30 and 12 months. So we should date our goals in order as well to work towards that date and that to achieve that. Our goals as well has to be written goals. We cannot just think on our goals and be just a thought once in 3 months, we thought about that goal. No. We should written them, we should write them, read them every day, and we should imagine with several details, concrete details, whatever goal we want to achieve. The fourth element is our positive attitude to life. So being positive. Nowadays, there is a lot of talk and a lot of current saying that you should be positive, be positive, be positive. Okay, but how can I be positive if my whole life is a mess? Or how can I be positive if I can achieve something? So again, it's the inner energy or the inner thoughts that you work every day in a positive way. So whatever thing you think, whatever issue you are thinking, make an effort to think of it on a positive way. So all of us have two voices talking with us. Sometimes you see something or you are experiencing something and a voice is telling you, oh, you cannot do it. Oh, don't go. And you have another voice saying, no, go for it. You can do it. So you'll be always balanced in these two voices, and we should let the positive voice speak louder and try to eliminate the negative words and the thoughts and proceed and have a positive attitude. The fifth element, dedication to work. You are young still, but you will understand two things when you start working. That you're going to spend most of your time working, and that work, that several hours that you are working is not giving you the results. Sometimes are financial results, other times are your satisfaction results. So being dedicated to work as well is an element of being successful, because it's something that you will spend a lot of time in your life, and probably it will not give you the satisfaction that you were expecting. So I defend as well that we should have multiple sources of income, in the way that all of us has a purpose, or if you don't define your purpose yet, you have a desire that constantly is following you. So, in that sense, we should try to be self-entrepreneurs, it's not for everybody, but I think that all of us should try to be self-employed and to have multiple sources of income, not to concentrate in one source, but try to have more than one sources that you can have your income. The sixth element is, I'm just going a little bit. The sixth element, and to finish, is a health ambition. So ambition is very, very important, and it's very good to be ambitious. But a healthy ambitious, I believe it's the thing that we should try to follow. I'm just going to give you another concept that is Kaizen. It's a Japanese business philosophy on continuous improvement of working practices and experiences that we can implement daily. So this is a philosophy that helped Japan went from the crisis that they were to being the third world big economy. And it's a daily work of tomorrow I'm going to be better than today. And you do it every day in all the fields of your life. So if it's work on work, you implement this continuous improvement. If it's in a social as well, and in an emotional or in a family environment as well. We try to be better tomorrow, be better tomorrow than today. Just to finish, I want just to give you a last insight. So when you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. And you must hold the vision, your desire, very clear. Continue to work on things you want to work, and don't give up. Never, never, never. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now listen to Madame Makole, whose agenda is so tight. And Madame Makole, if you search, you will find one of the greatest businesswomen of Africa. She is well known. She has many projects that she developed in our continent, huge ones. And she will speak to you now. Madam,
Thank you. Thank you very much. My timing is quite tight, for sure. I just wanted to know how many countries do we have in here?
I'm from Ghana.
Ghana? Gambia? Benin? Senegal?
The Gambia.
Gambia? Togo? Niger? Cabo Verde? And Cabo Verde.
And Francis, where are you from?
Haiti.
Haiti?
Yes.
Haïtien, comment y est? Ça vous fait? Okay, good. Benin? Allô, Père? Ça va? Niger? Tout le monde va bien? D'accord. Thank you very much for having me. I'm going to be quite fast and short for the simple fact that I have a plane landing with about 40 people that are coming for a conference which is going to tackle the issue of development of Africa by Africans. And this conference was all set up in the framework of the inauguration of the Mansa Floating Hub, which I'm sure that you've all seen at the Bay of Mindelo. Beautiful, iconic structure. So that's happening. It's going to be, by the way, online, so you guys can all look at it. It's fully streamed on several platforms. I was invited to come to talk to you today. In actual fact, not because I'm successful. I only have one secret to my success. And my secret to my success is my ability to always surround myself with people who know more than me. When Mo Ibrahim recruited me as the first CEO of a mobiles operator in Africa, woman, in 2004, I said to him, but Mo, I didn't study telecoms. I'm a communication person. I did communication and marketing. So I'm not a telecoms person. He says, I'm not looking for a telecoms person. I'm looking for someone with leadership to make the telecoms people work. So he says, you're going to have lots of engineers there. And you're going to, and I said, you know, finance? I said, my husband studied corporate finance. We both studied in the UK. But I was at London Business School, but I was doing communication and marketing. He says, you're going to have all the best finance people there, which I did. And that's how I started my career in the telecoms industry in Africa. And working and building networks, there's one thing I learned also, which is very important. You go out of your country, you go out of your comfort zone, you study, you come back with experiences. And my second secret to success, or to, as they call it, success, is, my first I said, surround yourself with people who know more than you. The second one is when you come back to wherever you go, first listen to how the tam-tam is being, the djembe is being beat before you start dancing. This means, do not come with an attitude of I know it all, or with an attitude that I've seen it all, but with an attitude always of show me how it is. Third element of success is if you think of yourself, you're not going to be successful. If your goal in life is you're not going to be successful. From the time you start thinking about your goal in life being others, success will start. And you can prove this in any field of your life, whether it's personal life or professional life. From the moment you start thinking about, how can I improve this company? How can I make this company grow? How can I make this company create an impact on the communities? Your career starts becoming successful. Because one of the elements that I'm known for, which you will find on Google about me, is that I was one of the first as well to develop a very strong corporate social responsibility plan and strategy. I make money for people. I build the companies. The companies are all very successful, which is the reason why I was nominated among the 50 top managers of the continent of Africa. But I never left that there. I always insisted with whoever my employer was, what is the percentage that you're putting back into the community? Putting back into the community, giving back to the community. And so this is the importance of you understanding that whatever your project is, how is this going to impact somebody else? How is this going to impact your community? How is this going to impact the lives of your communities? How is it going to impact the continent? Because at the end of the day, we are in the decade of Africa by Africans, for Africa. We all went to the same school. That's what I tell everybody who comes to work with me. So I do not expect you to come with something else that another student who was there did not get access to. So therefore, it is very important for me to give you my last secret, which is I only work with people who have a high emotional intelligence. Doctors are all the same. Engineers are all the same. Electricians are all the same. Why am I going to select one engineer versus the other one? Why are some scientists getting more support versus the other scientist? It's only based on one thing: emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the capacity for someone to do and use exactly those three initial elements that I've just mentioned. Surround yourself with people who know more so you can learn. Because what you learn is yours, stays here. Making sure that whatever you do, that there is a purpose which is not related to you, but for others. And making sure that whatever you do, all the benefits, or some part of the benefits, has to include benefits for the community where you are. It is fundamental. And if someone has those three elements, he has a high emotional intelligence coefficient. Nowadays, they're not looking about people who are smarter than others. We are all smart. Praise be to God. He made us all beautiful and wonderfully smart. All of us. What will make the difference between one and the other person? It's only one thing: emotional intelligence. 75% of American entrepreneurs and directors fail or are fired if they work in a big institution. Not because they're not intelligent, not because they're not competent. 75% of competent people do not succeed due to lack of emotional intelligence. You can read a lot about it. Daniel Goleman is the one who really, the scientist who really pushed for it. And emotional intelligence is what will direct your lives. I know a lot of managing directors at this moment, if they were in the same circumstances that I am now, would have been very nervous like this. Despite the fact that I have 16 people organizing a huge event, and everybody, all of them are calling me at the same time. I put my phone off, because this is not a moment for them, it's a moment for you. And when I leave here, I'll put my phone back on. I'll probably have 55 emails and messages, but that's fine. Then I will deal with it. Learn not to buy the frustrations of life. Life is difficult and frustrated anyway. It was not meant to be. It was created to be an experience. So look at your lives as a human experience, and how you're going to make the best out of that human experience. It depends. It's always going to depend on your emotional intelligence. To take things in a very natural, and there's a word that's very fashionable now, which is ecocentric way. So go with the flow, but do what is right for others before you do what is right for you. Because if you do what is right for others, yours will always be right. That is my biggest advice to you. Whatever you are studying, whatever your project is, you have so much that you can give to this continent, you can give to the sea, you can give to the environment. I mean, you guys are studying that. There's no need for me to go into that field. It is your field. Now, how is that field going to impact the rest of your community, your country, and your continent? This is what I expect. So next time you invite me, I want them to talk. And I want to hear about it so that I can celebrate with you. One last thing, never wait to achieve your plans and your goals. One secret is every time you have a plan, you have a smart plan, like she explained to you how to do a smart plan. Celebrate the small steps that you get. Don't wait to celebrate the big steps. Celebrate the small step. Every step of your plan, you celebrate it, because that will also help you to go further. But the most important one, do it for others, and you will be successful. Thank you very much. I've given you my time.
We will now start with our presentations of the projects that the students did think of, the solutions to tackle the challenges of Ocean Decade. So please, team 1, working on fishery project.
Thank you very much. My name is Desiree Fiobe. I'm from Benin. I'm Wascal student. Beside me is Milan Diouf from Senegal, Wascal student too. We would like to welcome you all to our presentation, which will focus on value chain creation for fishery products. Firstly, we do some observations that allow us to know about some problem here. We saw that the practice of fishing at war, we saw about the non-diversification of incoming sources, and also poor and unhealthy quality of processed products. The causes of all these problems are use of close packs, fishing nets, high fishing pressure, and also non-respect of hygiene measures for processing. All these consequences lead to decrease in stock in the ocean, post-catch loss, and the economic impact that all these problems has is low sale due to poor quality of processed products. As solution, we suggest something that Milan will present to you.
First of all, we are going to raise awareness of importance of proper fishing practice with the fisherman to avoid bycatch, train actor in hygienic processing techniques from the fresh product till the final product to sale by doing salting, drying, smoking, and packaging to attract customer. Okay, we are going to do capacity transfer through relationship between experts from this field and women from Mindelo, for example, to promote sustainable local management of fishery research with fishermen and also women sellers to know how to protect our environment and how to protect marine resources, to avoid bycatch or also to avoid spoilage. Create a micro credit for women's financial independence to give them the opportunity to be financially independent and to run their business. To do this, here is a short action timelines. We are going to start from assessment on fishing and post-fishing loss, which will last at least for 8 days. Also, to emphasize the awareness, because we need to let them know that the way they do fishing is bad, and how to promote hygienic fishing process. Okay, so also we are going to train women in fishing process, and this we will do some video projection and to learn them how to do this practice. Thank you for your attention.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for inviting us. And this is my name is Abubakar Prijabi. I'm also a WhatsApp student. I'm from the Gambia.
Mercedes Asemila from Niger.
Coastal student.
Thank you very much. We are going to look at the coastal and marine environment, pollution control and management. So this is a major issue in our coastline that we want to tackle. And we want to look at the issues here. If you look at these are the pollution, type of pollution that we are experiencing along our coastline. But then the pollution in our coastal and marine environment, if you look at the plastic, it is estimated about 5.3 trillion pieces of plastics in our ozones. And this is causing a lot of harm to our marine species. And what are some of the causes of these pollutions? Dumping on our waterways. Most of the pollutions we are seeing along the coastline are land-based source, from land-based source. So it's not necessarily mean from the marine environment in total, but some are from the land-based sources, which we really wanted to tackle. And again, what also contributes to that is rapid population growth. We have realized that the population is now shifting from the rural to urban areas. Then if population is growing, there's tendency that people also generate waste along the ways. Rapid population growth also contributes. Most importantly, inadequate waste management systems. This is something that we really need to tackle. Most African countries, what they are lacking and contributing to waste along our coastline is the lack of waste management systems. So this contributes to having a lot of plastic, particularly in our coastline. Now, let's look at the main objectives of this project. We want to create cleansing activities on a quarterly basis. But then you will see in our timeline, how are we going to conduct some of these activities in our timeline. So we also thought cleaning the beach alone is not enough, because you need people to change their attitude. And how are you going to do that? You need to create the awareness, raise their awareness. Others may be polluting out of ignorance. So you are going to clean the beach, but then you are also going to tell them the consequences of polluting our marine resources. So that way they will be changing their attitude towards these precious resources. Now, let's look at the solution here with our main timeline. We thought it's important to call for stakeholders meeting, because you need to involve people from the inception. If you call for stakeholders meeting where everybody now is involved, there you will have task force committees being established, where each is now will know exactly what's expected of him. So there, sensation events through radio stations will come in. So, like I said, the stakeholders is planned for the 2nd of September if feasible. So responsible also the coordinator with other participants. There's also need, because we want to involve the students, be it from the nursery school, from the primary school. We need to have stakeholders from the schools. In case where schools are not collaborating, we need to establish where there are environmental clubs. We need to strengthen them so that we tell them exactly what is expected of them. So then we also have to have a meetings with local stakeholders. Those meetings will help us identify exactly the filthiest areas, beaches, where we are going to concentrate our cleansing activities. Now, when it comes to cleaning our beaches, we are not going to invent the dates. Dates are already there. Environmental dates are already there. The 22nd of March is World Water Day, so which is celebrated globally. So we are going to capitalize on that. On the 5th of June, everybody knows is World Environment Day. We're also going to capitalize on that. Third Saturday of September every year, everybody knows is International Coastal Cleanup Day. And also 21st November is World Fish Day. Those are the environmental days that we are going to capitalize for volunteers to know exactly. These are the days that we want to put our efforts in keeping our coastline clean on a yearly basis. So when it comes to monitoring, of course, we don't want to do something without monitoring to see whether we have any positive impact. We have to be monitoring through what? The waste that we are collecting. So there we will have our GPS coordinates to see these are the areas that we have cleaned this particular quarter, and this is the stakeholders that participated in the cleansing exercises, and also the estimated amount of waste that have been generated or cleaned. So, and also the waste category. So that in the subsequent cleaning activities, we will be able to gauge whether we have made any positive impact with regards to our activities on the beach. So now, The question for everybody here is, how can we help to address this issue? So thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon to you all. I am Ahmad Mali from the Gambia. As my colleagues have admitted, I'm also a Wascal international student studying in climate change, master's in climate change and marine science. I'm very happy to take part in the ozone decade science. We have a mini project here that we want to present to you, and my colleague will continue.
Thank you very much. My name is Daniel Kui. I'm from Ghana, and I'm also a Wascal student. So our project is Fish Conserve, and our main goal is to raise awareness towards conserving fish resources. So when I look around Cape Verde, you see that the sea is our greatest treasure, and the sea serves as a source of income and provides a cheap source of protein. So what is the problem? The problem is that we are having a high incidence of juvenile fish catches, and landings are reducing. What solution do we propose to tackle this problem? We propose that we have a participatory kind of resource management approach, where it's not just a top-down approach, governments coming down, bringing regulations, but to engage the fishers, the fish merchants that directly engage in the fishery sector. So how are we going to go about this work of raising awareness towards taking action to conserve our fish resources? We are going to first engage the actors that are directly in the sectors, that's the fishers, the fish merchants, and we are going to assess their level of awareness of the problem at hand. From literature, we know that there is a problem, but are people aware of this problem? Do they recognize that we all need to act together to solve or tackle this problem? After that, we are going to engage the relevant stakeholders to find the best possible way to address this challenge. Because once you make everybody feel that they have a share in the resource, everybody owns up some level of responsibility, then we can properly tackle the challenge. Then we are going to, based on our assessments and based on the findings that we get, we are going to organize capacity building for the fishers, especially because they are the best people to police the resource for us, because constantly they are the ones going out to sea to fish. It is very expensive to organize regular monitoring at sea. The open ocean is so wide and it's very difficult and expensive. And so who best to police the resource than those that are regularly going there to exploit it? Then after this capacity building, we are going to organize an intensive media campaign. We are going to use both the digital media and the print media. We'll organize the intensive campaign between 28th to 30th, but after we'll engage the media to have regular talk shows or to have short insights where they continue to keep this awareness program going. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. We will now listen to Professor Karim to say a few words on the work you've done and as the coordinator of the Wascal program.
So I'm very grateful for the opportunity that you are giving for our master students, and especially for the speech they have here. Thank you very much to you all. I guess I'm quite sure they will left this meeting more motivated, and especially with some highlight, with some tools that they can better manage their emotions, and especially focus in their purpose and in their goals. So thank you very much for the speeches and for you to organize this. Regarding to your presentations, one first thing that I want to remember, you are not Wascal students, you are students of master course on climate change and marine science. Is that you are students on climate change and marine science in the framework of WASCAL. So WASCAL is just the sponsor and the organizer of these programs that you are studying. So you must highlight what you are studying, that is climate change and marine science. But many remember that in this presentation, just the other two just mentioned as WASCAL students. Regarding your presentations, I have to tell you I'm a little bit skeptical regarding to sensibilization. I guess all the governments has spent a lot of money. You have a lot of NGOs working, spending a lot of money on sensibilizations. At some point I do not. Of course, I should have some impact, but I guess it's not as much that has been spent or has been expected according to the values and the time that has been spent. So ways basing on, for example, make it a business can be better, because on site I read or I listen in some way that our species should not be named Homo sapiens, but Homo economicus, because we are based on money. Unfortunately, we move fast when have some results. So, for example, regarding, for example, your presentation on coastal pollution management, if it's possible from this, make it a business, would be you can, I guess. For example, I saw a few days ago a documentary on an NGO that is supporting some fishermen that usually collect just fish in a river. I don't remember the country, but now they are collecting the plastics, and these plastics are transferred to an enterprise and to use as raw material for producing some stuff. I don't remember which stuff. So I guess of course I am not excluding totally the sensibilization, but if you think this as a business, to promote the business, I guess would be better, would have better results, especially because there's a lot of material. So you go to clean, for example, here in Cape Verde, around our beach, the NGOs usually promote during the summer collection, and you already participated in one collection of something. If you go today, few months later, you will find the same quantity of waste there. So, but if you do this, promote this as a business, I guess maybe she can tell you a little bit more, because my life is more, I was more focused on academic issues, so I'm not the best person to orientate you in this area, but you should find a way. But I'm glad that all the questions that you pose are really good questions, and especially our major concerns relating to the fish quality in our market. We still need working on that. Time by time is improving a little bit. Now, for example, it's possible that there is some enterprise, like she mentioned, she has an enterprise, but there is here in Mindelo also enterprise that manage the fish, and you have access to fish in better conditions, but we still need some improvement in this way. I forgot exactly the last one. I forgot.
Conserving fish resources.
Ah, okay. Yes, I understand because when they start with the title concerning fish resources,
You went to the canning
I saved that as conserving fish conserve.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
Yes, but for that when they did the presentation, I didn't change what I saved before. So for that I did.
Maybe the word is not. That's not like the conserving fish resources. Maybe the conserving is not well implemented there. Maybe you need to find another word. Okay.
No, but I guess it's okay. Just because in Portuguese usually we use conservação for conserve for.
Mas mesmo em inglês tinha que ser uma outra palavra.
But in English we use usually conservation.
Yeah, more like preservation than conservation.
Yeah.
You know, like the preserve, more like conserve.
No, we use conservation because of the amount of juvenile fish catch here. That's the problem we show. So there's need for
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from, but the word itself, when you say conserving, it's more like the sustainable way. So there's other words that would be better implemented than just conserving. Because somebody else would think like, okay, I thought it first, and then when I started listening to the presentation, like, well, that's kind of the.
Yes, but I didn't did the change for that. I forgot what they thought. But now I remember, as he mentioned on Smart Fish, I remember that yes, they are focusing in the sustainable management on resources. Not when I saw the title, I saved that in my mind as conservation of fish, so the processing of fish. So yes, is a concern that we have here in Cape Verde. But one question that I would like to put all of you, if you have been analyzing some documents or some former tentatives of solution of these issues that you posed. Did you read any document or that was done before some proposal and what they face? Because of course discussion that you are putting are not new. Someone had put in them and had worked in them. But after several years we have the same issues. So my question to you is in what these former tentatives to address these issues fail, and what is new in your proposal in order to overcome this? Is that I would like from you all?
Yeah, like in our case, the pollution. I think my country, the Gambia, have initiated the cleaning of the beaches, and we have also collaborated with schools, mainly from nursery school to primary school, where these environmental days are well celebrated. The Environmental Protection Agency will invite our collaborative schools, have an activity with them, and be cleaning the beaches on quarterly basis. However, there are also youth civil society organizations that are also engaged in cleaning the beaches on a voluntary basis. But then that is not the end, in as much as that reduces the amount of waste that we are having on the coastline. But if you look at the waste category in our beaches, are mainly plastics. So what the government did is, apart from the frequent cleaning of the coastline, they thought that is not the end. Let's come up with something that will at least deter people from using the plastic. So that's how they came up with a ban on single plastic use. So in 2007, they engaged the stakeholders that are using the plastic, from the manufacturers to the sellers to people who are engaged in plastic business. So give them a timeline that in the next 5 years, the government is thinking of banning a single-use plastic bag. So this is the right time for people or companies producing the plastics to come up with initiatives, to come up with the alternatives to bags, plastic bags. So after 5 years, the plastic bags were banned. So that was why if you go to our beaches, now you don't see most of the plastics. So this is just a starting point. So at the end, we are thinking of now looking at the policies or regulations that will now deter people from using the single-use plastic.
Very well.
And you? So my question to you all was, you have paid attention in what was done before to address the issues that we are putting in place regarding the quality of fish in our market, and the solution, so the solution that was trying to get, if the situation still or didn't change, is because at some point they failed. So you realize where they failed and in what your proposal can be better in order to overcome these issues and be more successful than the former solutions.
Whether there was any work done here in relation to the
So we did not do a survey, just by observation and by comparing to Senegal. What we saw here is totally different. So now how can we improve these things? So that's why in our action timetable we are going to talk to them, to ask them how to avoid spoilage and how to improve the fish processing.
After observation, we just relate what we see, and that is why for the first action we do some assessment. We want to talk to them to know, to inform ourselves about the technique that they are using now, and then we will compare to what we can suggest to them for the next time. Because, for example,
but
about the
but
fish.
in my perception, it would be not more efficient if you learn before what has been done instead of just have a meeting to know what they are doing. For example, you mentioned on fish spoil. Yes, this is a practice that is quite associated with fisheries, maybe in Senegal. Not here in Cape Verde, because our fisheries, our artisanal fisheries, is more associated to hooks, that hook and line that is quite selective. So you have the discharge of fishes is usually minimum here in Cape Verde. So the techniques of fisheries that we use here in Cape Verde do not produce too much fish to discard. So it's not an issue here, the big issue that we have here in Cape Verde. Why not? Because it's not because we have a very nice technique, because it's the nature that this to us. Because our bottom is very irregular, so no one wants to put a net to push and to catch fish in our bottom. That is the typical technique that usually collect a lot of fish that are not addressed for fish consume, so are later exploited. So we don't have this kind of fishery technique exactly because our bottom, our sea bottom, do not permit that. So my recommendation to you all is first try to understand very well how thing is being done. So the issues that we are putting, if someone had addressed them and how they address it, of course, if you still having the issues, it's because at some point they failed. So try to check where was the fail and how you can overcome the fails. Because what you, I'm so sorry for that being like the law. I don't know in Portuguese is
devil's advocate. You got it right.
Yes.
Devil's advocate.
Devil advocate. But yes, it's my job to do that. Okay, exactly, to pushing you in order that you can get better management. So this is for all of you. Try to analyze what is being done, what was the phase, and so in this order you can catch up the solution, the new solution. Because it's what Leila is asking for new solution.
I have to say about the postal policy. Another way also is that, look, I read a book on German, what you used to do. There, when you buy a bottle of water, and you go home, you keep an excess on your money. When you return the bottle, now you can give you the
Yes.
excess.
It's how I told you. Homo economics. It's just this way. It's just by money. So usually you think, because the Europeans have their streets clean. No, it's not because they was more civilized than us. It's just because in some way someone put the hands in their pockets. Is that it? Yeah.
Yes,
But
so now, if you throw it, after drinking your water, you throw the bottle. As Jam also knows that when I return this bottle, I can have money. So someone could collect it and go, and you give him the excess. You don't want to get another things. So we can maybe in a future case or in future days use it again to see if we can do that. Those who want to buy things with plastic, we can keep an excess of money from their pockets, and after they return it, we can give them the excess, and we can make their work easy, and maybe it can tackle the problem of this pollution.
Another way to do it also, for example, in some area of my country.
So your colleagues at this side can.
Okay, another way to do it, for example, in some area of my country, to manage this problem of plastics, there have some NGO that work for the transformation of plastic. So what they did, they sensitize the population. If you come with one bag of plastic, they what is busy? They print it, yeah, and it arrives some kilogram. They give you money, so it gives the opportunity to the young people to go to the street and take the plastic, put them on the bag, and go and back to the NOG and keep and have money. So this is a somehow one direction to do it. In our project we expect to do all these things, but before doing it we have to go to see what people have already done, and we know that these techniques are something that almost countries are already done. So we have to go through this to see and to observe, to have more information before implement something that people don't know here. This is the thing that we expect to do.
Okay, but so to see what have been done, but but you want to see this in a meeting, or you want to would be not be proper, not before the meeting at least, have the knowledge what can be done, because there is a lot of documents produced on reports. Unfortunately, here in Cape Verde, you have the use to do studies that with a lot of recommendation, and that after that, just we have a new study to do. Yes, it's our tradition, unfortunately.
You study
So,
about this study.
so the way is to collect some of the existing studies and try to find the recommendation on them, and after that keep working, because to do another study that has equally that has been done will not do that.
We are reaching the end of our event because we have a limited time to occupy this space. So I will ask for some remarks from Tatiana, who you all well know. Tatiana, please tell me a bit about what you've listened and seen today.
Okay, so we've had some motivational speakers today, and I was very glad to hear what they had to say, because one of the things that I've noticed is that when students come to the job market or job world, they're not prepared in the attitude-wise. They have the knowledge, but they don't know how to use that knowledge. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to behave. And one of the things that Mrs. Emily says here is you have to listen and then do the dance. So when you come, it's very important. If you're in the job world, you have to, once you in a company, you have to know what their policy and how the people work there, and then for you to use what we learn and help them to improve and do each and every day better. Okay, so the attitude is very important, because what we see right now, what I see, my experience, is a lot of young people, they're missing that. They're missing that preparation of, like, when you start a new job, what you do, how do you behave yourself. So I'm glad you had some big points here and very important remarks on that aspect. And in terms of the presentations, I know Corinne said she was being the devil's advocate, but I must say the presentations were good in terms they had you identify the problems, but regarding the solutions, is like it was very theoretical. So you need to come up with more practical solution, something you can apply. Like Corinne said, there's been lots of studies have been done, and so learn, find out what has been done, where are we at right now, and what can you do with your youth knowledge and your positive energy, what can be done to make it better, and what hasn't worked in the past. And so you take the past and see what are the solutions for the future, okay? So with your great, full of energy mind, you come up with, I'm sure you can come up with better solutions. But what's the first presentation was? Value chain for fishing. It's an area where we need improvement, but how can you do it? What has been done that didn't work in the past that you guys can come up with solutions? And always think business mind, okay? Be entrepreneurs. Also, the other one was what? The coastal line pollution. That's a topic right now. So there's a lot being done, and especially beach cleanup. You have lots of NGOs, you have lots of volunteers, they go and they do beach cleanup. But okay, what do you do afterwards? What do you do with the waste? What's been done? Or how do you keep motivating people so there's not always the garbage at the beach, for example, so you don't have always to go clean up? What can you do to make it better? Conserving fish resources is also, it's like a topic that, okay, a lot of studies says that our resources are running low, but then if you go and talk to the fishermen, sometimes they say, okay, we have difficulties fishing, but it's not because of the resources not there, it's because our techniques, what we're using is not up to date to go to other areas. So what they are exploring always in the same area. So after a while, of course, that area, you're not gonna have a lot there. But if you give them ways to go other places where they can do other fishes, other techniques, maybe there are fishes there, right? Because we still find sometimes in the market when you go, you have mackerels really big. So if you're having a fish resources problem, you cannot have a mackerel that is that big. How was it able to grow that big, right? So you have to, it's sad that one thing I must point out here is like I know there's Cape Verdean students in the Pascal program, so it would be good to have at least one Cape Verdean student in each group, so then they can tell you a little bit about their experience, and then you guys can go out there and find out as well where is Cape Verde standing in all of these topics. They're very important topics. You just have to find out more, where are we standing, where are we at, what are we doing, and what can you do to make it even better. Okay? That's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We have a WhatsApp group and we have been receiving emails through Dr. Corinne and Mela. So it's like the project or the ozone, predicted ozone project is open. Even yesterday, one of the Kevanian left the group because she said she cannot take part.
Well, but you guys can go on your own, find out, talk, and set up interviews to make major stakeholders, the communities, and also if you go to the communities, always take somebody. It's good to take somebody from here with you, so they're more open to talk, and don't say that they're doing something wrong, because then they will be very upset. Because I know, like in one of the presentations, one of you said the fishing practice is bad fishing practice. You don't. It's tough to say somebody that, like, if I've been doing my work and then you come to me and you say what I'm doing is wrong, I get very upset because I dedicated to it. I put time into it. So I would like you to tell me that, yeah, I know you've been trying, but you can do it better. It's always a choice of words. Very important. Okay.
Thank you so
Can
much.
I say just
of
a few
course.
words? Let me not to be
stand up.
Yes, yes. So just very, very few words to say. The time now is for action. There is no time to study a lot. Why? Because a lot of studies have been done already. So, the Italians say something, paesi che vai, usanza che trovi. When you go to a country, open wide eyes and try to find out what this country had already done. This is the first thing. The second thing, I didn't see in all those presentations any references to budgeting. Everything has costs.
Yes, but that's an item that we suppressed because it will take some more time to calculate, and they will go through it, but they are saving this for their next meeting that they will have with you, their next presentation, one-on-one. They will have their details.
Because budgeting is very important because it involves money, resources, and the third thing I wanted to tell you as well, money is a good thing. We should all look for gaining money. Money, clean money, let's say, with a professional issue, and money that you can as well give to the community. When you raise money in your project, the community as well is getting some benefit from those revenues that all the projects generate. So you have to have in mind as well
this theoretical project, how it can become a business. Because I was telling you, I was in the fish sector, and the first presentation that I saw had some very good information and concepts, but the fish market, Cape Verdean fish market, has its own particularities, and the mentality we have here, it goes to the other project as well. We need to change the mentality. Don't forget, every project you do involves people, involves money. So with these two main streams or assets, we should try to give the best to the people that are involved. So changing attitude, it's a very important issue as well. And somehow generate revenues with that money that can also gives you satisfaction, but some part of that money as well goes to the community. This was finished. But congratulations, all the best.
Thank you so much to you all that took your time to be here today. For you students who took the effort to think about solutions and take action. Nadia, Tatiana, words cannot thank you enough for sharing your knowledge, your practical notion of how to act and impact the community you live in and our planet, our blue planet. We are all ocean lovers for certain, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Thank you so much for your time. This is just the beginning. We are starting a new position, a new attitude towards protecting the ocean's health, so we can find solutions for the challenges our world is facing, our humanity, the way it's behaving. How can we change mindset? We need to start by ourselves. If each one of you take action, we will impact the whole world, and we will have achieved our goals, I believe, even before the decade reaches the end term. Before, if we change the mindset, we will do some acting and impacting our world. I'm counting on each one of you, the professional side, the science that comes up at this moment, each one of you, to impact your country, to start the movement of a committee at your country, to start thinking the Ocean Decade challenges, to bring solutions and to bring awareness to others. So, you are ocean lovers and you are Ocean Decade ambassadors. Thank you so much for your effort, for your time, and for your dedication. Thank you.